when people hear this, they're like, oh, man, this guy's just whatever, telling us to look at life through rose-colored glasses. And I got to say, bullshit. No. That ain't what's going down. It's the opposite of that. In fact, if you're going to talk about glasses, what I'm suggesting is we take off the glasses that I call distortion glasses that we've learned to wear that would have us see life problematically in the first damn place. Take off the glasses so I can experience reality as it is in all of its infinite splendor. Reality is good if I'll see it that way.
Hey, Nicole, what do you get when a former corporate CEO and a do-gooding executive walk into a recording studio?
Well, Aaron, nothing, because the two of us are usually on my couch or Zoom because wine.
You get a podcast created for Gen X women who are bought into the corporate world but fed up with the BS.
I know. It's how to thrive the 9 to 5 or 6 or 7.
It's career therapy. It's comedy. It's definitely full-on authenticity. Basically, we give you tangible strategies to rise in your career without compromising everything else.
Because work doesn't have to suck.
You guys are going to love this episode. So let me give you just a little bit, because I don't want to ruin. He tells so many great stories, but let me give you a little of the background, a little of the bio. Chris is a mental toughness coach. He's actually worked with some of the world's biggest athletes, Super Bowl champions, NFL coaches, NHL, golfers, billionaires, but you'd never know it. He's as humble as can be. And his story is incredible on how he got there. He started on the streets of Atlantic City in New Jersey as a social worker, and then started to realize he had a new passion, and he married those together. And he tells us the story about that. But more importantly, he gives so much in the way of mindset changes and how to think about things in a different way, and just an energy and authenticity and style and vibe that you are going to absolutely love. So I'm so excited that we got to do this interview. Chris is somebody I heard on a podcast years ago, and one of his stories still sticks with me to the day. And he shares that story and so much more. So enjoy this interview with Chris Dorris. So do you know how I first heard of you? I'm going to tell you because it's the story you told has stuck with me to this day. And I'm wondering if you even remember the story, which you probably do. But I first heard you on Nick Murphy's podcast, You.
Wow, awesome.
You were his first episode.
Well, fun. Nick and I just spent a week together down in Kiowa Island, South Carolina last week, 2 weeks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
I met Nick early in my transition over to this career. I can't even remember, probably on my favorite dating app, which is LinkedIn, right? Like the only dating app. Of course, I use that in quotes. And I was on his episode, on his podcast. I think it was the first one I had done. And so I wanted to listen to previous episodes. And I'll be honest, I don't remember most of what you said, but you told a story about waiting tables. Do you remember? Does that trigger it, or do I have to go?
Yeah, absolutely. My first clients.
Tell that story.
Okay. So I'm in grad school at Arizona State, and my dream was to become a mental toughness coach for the PGA, for professional golfers. And I love golf, and I need money because I'm broke. I'm a broke grad student. So I figured I would get a job waiting tables, which I had experience doing at a place up in North Scottsdale called True North Golf Club. It's really fancy, really fancy golf club, amazing golf course and a fancy restaurant, like expensive meals and whatnot. So I can make some cake, play some free golf, a great place. Over time, you get some regulars, they recognize it. And they say, so what are you doing up to? And I got tired of answering the actual truth, which was I'm studying to become blah, blah, blah. I'm in graduate school studying to become a mental coach or a sports psychologist, or I was getting a weak ass response. One day I just was like, I'm tired. I'm just throwing it down. I'm just going to drop it. And I just cut to the future or actually delete that. I brought the future to now. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't jump into the future. I brought the future from the future into the now, which is profound. I didn't know I was just talking about discussing my answer sound like Nick. I was like trying to be like wise or anything. And in retrospect, it was quite wise. So one person they said, "Hey, Chris. So anyway, what are you up to, or what are you doing?" You said you're a student, and they asked me, "What are you studying?" And I ignored that, and I just answered a different question. And I said, "I'm a sports psychologist, and I train golfers' minds. I help them kick ass by getting mentally tough." And that got their damn attention, and they're listening now. And they might have been more interested than they were when they asked the question, because they're probably just asking out of being nice.
Going
I
through
mean,
emotions.
Yeah. And they're like, "Really? Do you work with kids?" I said, "I sure as hell do." And "Can you coach our kids?" I said, "Yeah." My practice started right there. I'm handing them the damn steak, telling them I'm a mental coach. I train golfers. I'm handing them their food.
Yeah. And that stuck with me because to your point, it wasn't a lie. It was bringing the future forward. You were already not only in school, but you had this background, and it really, it just really stuck with me. And I hope with our listeners too. And just to go backwards, though, before that, it's not like you hadn't done anything. So tell us a little bit about the social work that you did in Atlantic City and how that started to shape.
You and your
Stalker.
very impressive. Yeah, I made the decision early on that I was going to commit myself to a vocation that includes helping people stop and struggling and we're suffering.
Yeah.
And it came because I had our family, after my dad died when I was 9, he was only in his 40s. He died real early. And our house got dark, like a lot of scarcity and struggle and anger and difficulty. My neighbors, however, were like the complete polar opposite. They're just the absolute antithesis. So it was like light and dark, elation and struggle, like thriving, surviving. Just incredible contrast. And my bedroom faced their house. I just loved them so much. Their names, it was Mr. and Mrs. Kane. Their first names were Dan and Mame. Shane. And one child, a daughter, guess what they named her?
Not Jane.
Candy.
Candy cane. No, they didn't.
And they're just so full of loving and celebration. They're always hosting different people because it was down the Jersey Shore. And they were, during the summers, they were hosting different families and be out on the front porch for happy hour. And then they go out for dinner and retire to the back patio for cocktail hour. And I just laughed their asses off. They're hysterical. And they were party people. And I got to know all the crowd over the years. And my bedroom faced their house. So you know how contagious laughter is. You don't have to know what the laughter is about. You just start laughing yourself. You don't even know why. It's like joy is contagious. And that was the vibe I always got from them. And I didn't know it at the time, but what was happening was they were illustrating for me a choice on how to use life. And it was so appealing to me that what was happening unconsciously in my mind is so clear in retrospect is that I was saying that's a better choice than what we're making over here.
And they economically, they were about the same. It's not like they just happen to have more money or more whatever freedom.
No, they worked their asses off. They were retired. They worked on the railroad. They worked on the Philadelphia Railroad. So they worked their asses off.
Yeah.
And they just chose, just everyone loved them. I just think of my, can't not smile. So I committed. So that influenced me that I took the first job out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do for sure. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I knew I was going to serve people. Right. But I just took a job that was available as a social worker. I didn't really choose that. I didn't classify that. I chose to look in like helping people. But I ended up working on the streets of Atlantic City with people that are really struggling hard, like hard. Chronic schizophrenics who are being discharged. It was a time of deinstitutionalization from mental hospitals. So they were just pumping, getting them out on the streets. And my job was to help them not go back in. And I was working with homeless people too, because Atlantic City just built the biggest homeless shelter in the nation at the time. And all these cities were pumping. They were just sending their homeless people to Atlantic City. So Atlantic City was just a train wreck. You know, tons of drug addicts, work with drug addicts and just hard populations. And I got crispy, but one of the things, because you don't get paid jack doing that. That's just incredibly hard work. It doesn't get paid at all. You don't make anything. But I broke my leg one night playing basketball because I was a basketball player all my life. I was playing casual pickup games at night and I shattered my leg bad. And it was nasty. compound fracture, bone protrusion, fatty embolism infection. My lungs got pneumonia, ice blanket for 8 days in Princeton Medical Center. It was a mess. So I was like, that's enough hoops. The hell with this. I started playing golf. All right. And I realized, and I heard Molly, one of your recent guests, talking about how mental the game is. She gets it. Yeah. And so it's like I started playing just recreationally for me and fell in love with it, and also discovered how mental the game is. So I decided at that point, I'm going to marry my passion for serving humans, human potential with sports, because I'm a sports nut.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's the deal. So I moved out here, went to grad school. And if it comes up, I think it could be relevant to your audience if it comes up, or if we want to get to it. My internship that I did at Arizona State University, how it changed my life.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. But I want to go backwards first and just pause a little bit on when you're working with these people that were struggling in Atlantic City and all the ways. Was there one in particular or a story that you can remember of seeing somebody that actually could change their trajectory, that was a success because of their mental toughness?
Everett Marquette. Brother, if you'd happen to hear this episode, man, reach out. I've talked to him with decades. Everett was hysterical. For some reason, he always called me Monkey. Never ever called me by my name. But he was like the jokester. He was, it's an unbelievably tragic story. His father killed his entire family in one day in a minute with a shotgun. And he was trying to kill Everett too. Everett watched this whole thing unfold. His dad just lost his mind and shot everybody. So on August 14th, that was the anniversary of that day, the horror story, right? The murder. Everett went into a mental hospital, obviously severe depression, some addiction stuff. And he was my client. And so August 14th, for 4 years, I had a tiny little boat. We lived down the Jersey Shore. We had a little ski boat, little tiny fishing boat, 16-foot tri-hull MFG. It was cool. And I asked, so historically what happened was Everett would go up on the top of the Showboat Casino, which was directly across from this crappy group home that he lived in. Like literally, the group home was like literally in the shadow at certain times of day of this, which what a weird contrast that is.
Metaphor.
He would figure out he was more resourceful than anybody I ever met in my life. And he would figure out how to get up on the roof, and he'd stand on the ledge and decide whether or not to jump. And then I met him, and I decided I'm not going to give him that opportunity on August 14th. I asked my executive director, Myra Eskin, Saint, I asked her if it was okay for me to take him out of my boat. That's against all rules. So many, that's OSHA hell. But she said, do it. Do it. That's beautiful. Keep him away from that damn roof. So August 14th, we would go out on my boat. And
just put a life jacket on him.
And we just had a hell of a time, just fishing and hanging together. And he and I, that isn't what changed him, but it sure didn't hurt. Because someone gave enough of a shit about him that he was then reminded that maybe there was a reason for me to try. He cleaned up his act. He got his shit together and he moved on and he went back to the workforce. And that's why I've lost touch with him. No, let's just see if I could find that boy. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm going to try to find him. Yeah. That's a total success story. Yeah. There's hope. I think there's all I want to feel, but when we're schizophrenics, people, that's tough. There's no cure for that we know of.
Hey, Erin here. So I know we talk often about this concept of authenticity as a secret weapon to success. I swear to you, my authenticity was literally the number one thing that helped me become both the CEO of a 9-figure company at the age of 42, but also that helped me lead an insanely successful financial and cultural turnaround of that same company. But I get that authenticity as a secret weapon kind of sounds fluffy, like fluffy unicorn doo-doo that leaves you wondering, what do I actually wake up tomorrow and do differently without looking stupid or getting fired. This is exactly why I put together the Authenticity Playbook for you. It gives you 10 plays or really thought starters that are simple, actionable things that will help you up your career and leadership game. To get your free Authenticity Playbook, go to beauthenticinc.com/playbook. Again, that's beauthenticinc.com, just the letter B, authenticInc.com/playbook. Or to make it simple, just scroll down to the show notes and we've got you covered with a link there too.
I want to pivot a little bit. You have a video out there, and I think it was the opening line. It's one of those like goosey lines. And you said, and plus you have the really dramatic music behind you, so that always helps too. Well done. But you said, if we know that our entire lives unfold according to the way we think, then why are we not taught this more? Tell us more about that.
So we had gym class, right? Did you have gym class in grade school, right? Full education. We're educated on the value or the importance of being physically active. That's good. It's smart, right? It's helpful. Yeah. And then, but what was the name of that class again? The one where it was mental ed? The one where the teacher would say, all right, kids, we're going to train our brains now. Okay. We're going to strengthen the way that we respond to life so that we can create mastery faster with less effort. Okay. Down. All right. Everybody create confidence. Go.
Yeah.
Create nervousness. Don't worry about it. We won't do it just do it for a second. And the point is, I'm teaching you that we can create states in a moment's time, all of them, pleasant or unpleasant. We can manipulate them. We can change them in a moment's time. So we didn't have any of that training. We didn't have any training. I went to grad school in psychology. Nowhere during from kindergarten up through graduate school that I have a class that was specific to the practical ways of strengthening the way that we use our minds, more specifically, the ways that we respond to life, so that we can respond to life in ways that result in the creation of excellence fast with less effort. Yeah, we didn't have it. What's interesting now, Aaron, is it's happening. Very interestingly, it's born out of tragedy. All these horrible school shootings. Some of the mothers are getting together and starting emotional mastery training at the earliest levels of education, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, it really needs to be a focus. My son, who is an old soul and also a smart ass like his mom, and he, for example, I remember a couple of years ago, he had a teacher and she would try to infuse like growth mindset, but it would be like in passing or always talking about how it's okay to fail. But then he would daily point out hypocrisy of the things that they would fail at, right? So they would learn it in words, but not in practice. And I think that's where it's so important, right? And if we can do that for our kids, but the good news is people can do that for themselves. But so many people know about, you talk about a lot of things. One of those is limiting beliefs. I call them sucky songs. Everybody's got the term, right? But the stories we tell ourselves that hold us back. So everybody knows that there's limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
But so many people still sit in them and they don't get over them.
Oh.
What is it? What is the difference between those people that do and don't?
Simple. It's practice.
Practice.
It's simple. But then the next question is, what do you mean practice what? Let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've had the great fortune of having hired some of the best coaches literally on the planet Earth. And I've had so many, just such great influence and life-altering experiences. And one of those coaches, his name is Steve Hardison. And he lives here in Arizona. He lives in the next town over. And he's coached Oprah's coach, and he coaches unbelievable humans, right? So this guy is so badass. He's done his work, but I don't want to spoil. So let me just tell you the story. So one of the things he does every summer is cool. He gets in his car and he picks a town in a neighboring state like Colorado or Utah or New Mexico. Last summer, he picked Santa Monica, California as his destination. What he does is he just goes for 6 days and all he does is get a place to stay, and he has no itinerary. He has an agenda and it's simple. Go meet strangers and co-create miracles with them at the end. It's no itinerary. He even says when he announces on social media, Santa Monica is the destination. Now, I know some of us know each other. I'm not making any plans with any of you. No offense. I'm just not doing that.
Wow.
Okay. Like maybe we'll cross paths, but we'll see if that happens.
Wow.
And he goes. And so like for example, the first thing that happens, he pulls up to the hotel where he's staying, and he's in the portico. Bellman come out and they take his stuff. And he doesn't even get into the hotel for an hour because he's hanging with these guys and he's getting their stories and he's taking selfies with them and he's tagging them on social media and posting, these are my new friends. He's giving them books because he loads up his car before he goes out with all these books and gifts and things, shirts and stuff that he knows he's going to give away.
Yeah.
So he does all that for a week. And then the week is, and he documents it beautifully on social media. So it's like, seriously, it's like watching a really inspired reality TV show. It's really nice. So it's over. The week is over. And he's created all these miracles. It was nice. And he makes his final post and says, the Top Hat Tour, it's what he called it that year. Top Hat Tour complete. Now I get to go home and see my girlfriend, who happens to be my wife. Amy, I love you so much. I miss you so much. And I cannot wait to hug you and kiss you. I'll be home in 6 hours. And that's it. It's like, oh, that's so good. Another great story. Another great week to watch Steve do his magic. A few hours later, though, there's another post. And he says, Top Hat Tour apparently not complete. There's more magic to be created. Now, I'm going to time out just for a second for the listeners here. If you have any kind of emotional response to what I'm just about to say, just notice it. So he says, there's more magic to be created. I get to create more miracles. I have a flat tire. I'm 120 miles out from Phoenix in 120-degree heat with no spare. I get to create more magic. I get to call roadside service, and whoever answers the phone, I get to make their day, which he did. And he's on the phone with this woman, and she's like, sir, you're on drugs. He's like,
Caller I've ever had.
yeah, that's right. And he made her day. He's like, yeah, I'm on drugs, serotonin, dopamine, baby. And like, I'm activating the internal pharmacy, right? And he's like, what are we going to do? What should we do? And she's like, oh man, I wish I get more calls like this. Dave is going to come out, pick you up with a flatbed and pick up you in your car and drive you home. And he goes, oh man, Dave, that guy is about to have the ride of his life and he doesn't even know it. So I'm telling this story because it's a great story about what's possible if we'll do the work to train ourselves on how to respond, strengthen our response dash ability to life. So I'm telling a story in my coaching and in talks and stuff. And I realized at one point, am I like making shit up here? Like, am I filling in the blanks? Tell the story conveniently for myself because I have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to make sure, look, I know the author, I know the source, so I could just call him and ask him. So I called him up and I said, hey man, I got 2 questions for you. I want to clarify your flat tire story. He goes, yeah, what do you got? He said, first of all, honest to God.
Did it really happen?
Like seriously, how long after you discovered that you got a flat tire, how long did it take for you to seriously get to enthusiasm? And he goes, none times 0 seconds. Roger that. Second and final clarification question. How the hell are you able to do that? And he goes, years and years of practice. So that's the answer to your question, Aaron, is what's the difference? Yeah, we all get conditioned to adopt and carry around that we don't even know, like beliefs, like when I don't get what I want, that sucks. That's a belief that lives in most of our minds. It governs us. So we're constantly not getting what we want in life, which means we're spending so much time having a problem with reality. That's hell. That's my definition of hell. And in the prison of a conditioned mind. So what he means by practice, years and years of practice, and the answer to your question, Aaron, which is why do some of us like perpetually struggle and some of us can free ourselves from the conditioning of the past is practice. So here's a practice suggestion for your tribe, okay? Start eliminating complaining from your life, and I'm not kidding. Complaining makes us stupid. Complaining fundamentally is me practicing getting better at struggling against reality, which is a battle used 100% of the time. So I'm literally mastering being stupid. Very popular practice. And there is some benefit from it, like venting and bonding through negativity, but the costs far outweighs any of that benefit. So my invitation to everybody is to start, first of all, heighten your awareness to the frequency with which you complain. 99% of our complaints happen silently in our minds. They don't even make it into the spoken word. It's just internal struggle, dis-ease, internal conflict. Right? Pay attention to how many times a day you go, oh, that sucks. And catch yourself and finish that sentence by you're going, unless it doesn't. You're doing is you're interrupting the auto response. So you're actually literally reprogramming your mind. So the intention is to be able to respond to life as fast as you can with creativity, with enthusiasm, at worst, curiosity. So you can get as fast to creation as possible. One of my favorite mantras is every set of circumstances can be created from if viewed masterfully. So the practice is let's practice responding to life masterfully. Let's practice upgrading the way we view things, like when stuff like a refrigerator breaking, right? And let's start with the simple things that we complain about all the time, not the extreme examples.
Yeah.
You don't learn to swim in the English Channel in the winter in a storm, right? Let's say that. Let's just start with all the bullshit we complain about every day, and it's a lot. Scientists suggest that we complain on average once every 11 seconds. If they're right, we got no shortage of opportunity to get in the reps. So practice replacing our complaints with expressions of gratitude. So let me give you a small example. Traffic is a really popular thing to have a problem with. It's a really popular thing to have an issue, at least in America, and then some other places, but really popular to have a huge problem with traffic in the United States. So catch yourself. Catch yourself when you're in traffic and you're getting crappy. You're starting to get fired up. You want to catch yourself when you are feeling unpleasant. Byron Katie says, whenever you're feeling anything unpleasant, it is because in that moment you're entertaining a belief or a thought that is simply not true. Whenever I'm feeling uncool, it's because I'm thinking like a scrub. Simple as that. It's not because of the thing. Marcus Aurelius said that. If you're being troubled, it's not because of the thing itself. It's because of your own estimate of it, which you have the right to revoke at any time. That's Marcus. So there ain't no problem in the world. The only problem is the way I see it.
Yeah.
So traffic. So here's a practice. You're in traffic and you go, God, you get on the highway. You got to be kidding me. All right. Cause it's all backed up and that's instantly a problem. When in reality, if you're just going to articulate what is the circumstance, like as a scientist with no emotion,
Right.
there are a bunch of cars moving close to each other, congested, going places slowly. That's the real data.
Right.
Our story is this sucks. Oh, this sucks. And then we give reasons why we support the argument and we convince ourselves further. So here's the practice. You catch yourself when you're feeling irritated and you say to yourself, I'm really irritated. There's great skill in that because as soon as you acknowledge it, you can get outside of it. Otherwise, you're just living in it, being governed by it. But the freedom comes from acknowledging, say, wow, I actually say it like this. I'm really creating a lot of frustration here for myself. I'm owning it.
Yeah.
That's step one. Even if you just say, man, I'm pretty pissed off right now. That's unbelievably, that's a win.
It's a win.
But don't stop and go, let's turn this around. Let's see if I can see the gift in this problem. Like, and have it be real, not like some fluffy ass euphemism. Like legit do the work. You know what? I am actually pretty damn blessed that I have this car. Like, this car is mine. It's amazing. Like, it's amazing. I own this thing. What a freaking ridiculous, it's got air conditioning and a stereo. And I'm going to a place, even though it's taking more time than I wanted, that's actually a privilege that I get to go to this meeting or a dinner. Yay, my life.
Yeah.
And turn it around and have it be true. Like, it's work your ass off to actually get into gratitude or enthusiasm or appreciation about how privileged am I that I get to ride on this road right now that other people built for me in the car that I own.
Yeah. It's funny to stay with this example. I've kind of coded this into my son in particular because he plays hockey. It's a half an hour away. So we're on the road all the time. And when there's traffic and it's clearly an accident, and he'll now say it before me. He said, at least it's not us that's in that accident. I hope they're okay.
Yeah, so there is an infinite number of beautiful options like that. Okay, if we'll just stay open and do the damn work. Now, I want to add this little piece to it. Sometimes when people hear this, they're like, oh, man, this guy's just whatever. Tell us to look at life through rose-colored glasses. And I gotta say, bullshit. No, that ain't what's going down. It's the opposite of that. In fact, if you're going to talk about glasses, what I'm suggesting is we take off the glasses that I call distortion glasses that we've learned to wear that would have us see life problematically in the first damn place. Take off the glasses so I can experience reality as it is in all of its infinite splendor. Reality is good if I'll see it that way.
I love that. I love it.
Einstein asked us one of the biggest questions ever. He's like, what do you want to believe about? Do you want to believe that you exist in a universe that is loving, or do you want to believe that you live in a universe that is violent? Whatever you choose to believe, you're going to create for yourself. It's going to be your experience.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
Hey, Erin here. Look, I am so happy you're here listening to the Because Work Doesn't Have to Suck podcast. But I'm also guessing that some days it can be tough to get over here, and you may not always have the time to throw in your earbuds for half an hour or an hour. So if you also want career and leadership tips, inspiration, and quite frankly, professional pot stirring, the best bite-sized way to get that from me is to connect on LinkedIn. Almost daily, I share tips, inspiration, and humor to help you, maybe your less than authentic boss too, be more authentic at work. You can find me by searching my name. I'm literally the only Erin Hatzakostas in the world, or at least the online world. So if you can spell it, you can find me. Or we make it easy. You can scroll down to the show notes and click the link there. See you there.
Stories are so powerful, and telling those stories. I think back to one of my employees years ago, Italian through and through, had the classic Italian mother. And I remember him telling me without context, just that his mother, every time she cleaned her house, she loved it because she was so grateful that she had that kind of house to clean. It came from nothing. And that sticks with me. That context of we've got a million things to take care of in our house. And I always think back to John's grandmother. And I agree with you that it is about the reps. I always say sucky songs never stop coming, but it's just how fast you get through them. And I think, just like you said, this is great advice for our listeners, just to start with some very tactical, and then you come up with your own exercise. It's like doing a video on Beachbody, but then being like, okay, now that I know how to exercise, I can go lift weights my own way. I can go run my own way. Like, I think it's the same with mental. If you just take enough cues from a few people and commit to practicing, everything can change.
We are the authorities of our lives. Thank God for that. We, however, have been taught to be victims of circumstance, to give our power away, to let the outer world govern the inner world. And the practice is to take back that power so that I can believe and live that my outer world is a reflection of my inner world. What I got going on in my life is the result of what I got going on in my mind. So if I have chaos in my life, it's not because woe is me, I can't believe this happens to me. It's because I'm co-creating that somehow. And I want to open up to that. So if I have abundance in my life, it's because I have abundance in my mind. If I have both, it's because I have both. I want to own all that. One of my great mentors, the late, great Jim Myers, an absolute icon here in Arizona, passed a few years ago. He was my mentor. I love that guy so much. My God, that he saved me time in my professional and personal development. One of the things, he ran an executive forum group. So he led a whole bunch of CEOs from huge companies to tiny companies, everything in between. Everybody loved this guy because he loved them. And he was a hugely successful businessman. And he would always say, the most important resource, not even care what industry you're in, the most valuable resource you got in your business is the human one. You better start taking better care. So he loved his people into success. And one of the things that he'd start all of these meetings, the CEO forum meetings that he invited me to attend as a guest, because I'm a speaker and I get the privilege, I get to like listen and participate. He would start all the meetings with some teaching of his own. He would drop wisdom bombs. And one of them was, stop saying all the shit you have to do. Stop waking up, going and asking yourself, what do I have to do today? Stop it. And switch it to get to and have it be true. Again, not just fluffy language nonsense. No, it's like do the work. Change. You're the authority. What do author is the root of authority. What do? They write stories. How's your story serving you? Oh, I have to go to that goddamn meeting, and then I have to do this, and then I have another meeting right up against it, and then I have to get, and this person didn't deliver, so I don't know what the forecast is supposed to be. That's your world. That's the world you're creating for yourself. That's the world you're speaking and think your way into. That's hell. So switch it around, and as long as you're choosing the career you got, which you are, then you have it be get to. Have everything be, what do I get to do? Experiment with that. I invite everybody that's hearing this to experiment with that. That's another huge game changer in my world. I don't live in a have-to world. I live in a get-to world, and it's nice.
Have to.
Nice. And if I don't like the stuff that I get to do, then I get to go change it.
Awesome.
Oh, I wanted to say gratitude. There's this beautiful video. If you just go to YouTube and all you put in is gratitude HD, like high def, gratitude HD, you're going to find a 6-minute long short film created by the master of short film creation, Louis Schwartzberg, narrated by this great Austrian monk named Brother David Steindl-Rast. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I have shown this video, I cannot even tell you how many hundreds of times. Every time I get a little choked up because it's so nice. What it is, it's about how we never don't have access to genuine, deep gratitude, right? If we'll simply see the world right, if we'll see our life the right way, we'll realize that there's beauty in every moment. And it's not, and the practice of acknowledging it isn't just about feeling good, although it could be, that would be fine and enough. It doesn't stop there though, which is amazing because it gets better. Because when I choose, operative word, right, to put myself into a state of genuine gratitude, I am activating all intelligent centers of the brain. I'm actually releasing those chemicals, the drugs that I was talking about earlier in the internal pharmacy, serotonin and dopamine, which have me be good, but only at everything and only always. So I encourage everyone to look that up and watch that. It's so beautiful, and to keep it handy, to remind yourself, watch it every day. It's only 6 minutes long. The artistry is ridiculous. It's just the cinema. It's so amazing. Gratitude HD.
I can't wait to check it out. I've actually started, there's a podcast that I listen to that's daily affirmations, which is so much more woo-woo than I'd ever been. I've been working on my mind way more since I left corporate. There's so many daily affirmation podcasts that you can put in on your walk or your commute. And it really does rewire things.
So
from the beginning.
That's it. That's it. I love the language you're using, Aaron. Rewiring. One of my creations is called the Daily Dose. And the full version is called the Daily Dose Mental Toughness Tips in 30 seconds or less. So it's an email that I send out that if you get on that list,
got to get on it.
You're going to get a nugget. And I spent years taking these mental toughness practices, disciplines, challenges, concepts, and reducing them down into something consumable, literally in 30 seconds, often way less than that. Okay. So when you get on that list, then at 6 a.m., wherever you are in the world, every day of the year, you're going to get one of those. And the point is to remind you, mind you, that there are things that you can do that are not hard, that are often very quick. And if you'll repeat them and practice them, integrate them into your life, every discipline of your life will get easier and stronger and more joy-filled and more successful. Buddha said, your whole life unfolds according to the way that you think. So this daily dose is like helping you get your thinking right first thing in the day.
First thing in the morning. I love it. I'll be joining right after this for sure. So your book, your third book?
Yes.
Right?
Third published one. Yes.
Third published book, the Book of Mental Toughness Mantras, which is out by the time this.
It is out. It came out last night.
Awesome.
It's out.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love the mantras. Is this a lot like your daily dose? Tell us a little bit about the book.
No. So the daily dose is like a unique tip every morning. There's lots of overlap, but it's like a practice. Now these mantras, so over the course of about 27 years while I've been doing this work, for whatever reason, it's pretty neat. Me and my clients in sessions have come up with cool phrases, or I've stolen them from different influences in my life. Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Curated your own view.
From my influencers.
Yeah.
Over the years, I've accumulated like a long list of these mantras. And the mantras, when I say mantra, I'm probably taking some liberty in the term, but it's all I mean by mantra is a cool short phrase that's packed with volumes of value, right? If you understand what it means. So you can just say something brief and suddenly your whole state can change. So they're like tools. So these mantras are like, if you think of a master crafts, their job is to build amazing stuff. And they have one hell of a toolbox. They got a ton of great tools at their disposal to help them create their magic most efficiently and with the least time, which is a nice combo, right?
Yeah.
So these mental toughness mantras, and I'll give you a couple examples in a second, they're like those tools. They are those tools. They are the tools that help us craft our own excellence in our lives by helping us get our heads right. A mantra like ain't bad, just is. I call that the ultimate neutralizer, the great neutralizer mantra. And it's a great, so go back to the traffic, right? Oh God, this sucks. Unless it doesn't. And then go to a mantra. Actually, it ain't bad. Just is traffic. Seriously. Now I have totally neutralized my state.
Put a cap on it.
And I can leave it there. I can go further and go, this is the best damn thing could have happened, which is another mantra. Right? I could keep elevating if I want to. So anyway, the book is the collection of all the mantras that I've come up, 52 of them to be precise. The great mantras that I co-created or borrowed from other influences in my life. Like the outer world. I mentioned this one earlier. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. Every set of circumstances can be created from if viewed masterfully. Nervous can't exist in service. That one I came up with when I was doing a gig in Vegas. And I was getting ready to go on stage. And I was like, I wasn't getting ready to go on stage. It was that day and I had hours. I'm in my room and I'm presenting some new stuff. So it was like some new content. It's not new content for me, like in coaching, but it's like presenting it in a keynote is a whole different gig. You know it. Because it's a performance. Keynote is a performance. Okay, because you got lights, you can't really see the people. There's no interaction really that much. So I was thinking crappy in my room. And I was thinking about, I don't know, I haven't tried this before. This is a bit of a risk. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? That's the thought. And how does that, what that do? What that creates anxiety. So I was nervous. So I did the practice because I'm like, oh, how funny is this? This is the dude.
The little circle.
Let's walk the talk, baby. So I sat there and I broke it open and it didn't take long. I was like, so why am I nervous? What is it? What is the thought that I'm believing right now that's having me create the state of nervousness? This is literally my self-talk. Literally. And I said, well, obviously I'm sitting here thinking about what if it doesn't go well? And my next thought was, you arrogant bastard. As if this is about you egotistical jackwagon. That's literally my self-talk too. I like talking like that to myself. I'm a Jersey boy. It's all.
Yeah.
Those are terms of endearment. And I thought, yeah, wow, that's actually is truly arrogant. Like, honest to God, I'm a servant. They're bringing me here to serve, for God's sake. They know that I got some goods that their people need. Stop bastardizing this experience and having it be like, dude, I hope I perform good. Or I hope they like me. and be the damn servant that you're being brought to be. And that's why I came up with that mantra. Nervous can't exist in service.
Mm.
When I get into service, I think I got presents to give for Christmas. Why you getting nervous about that? You're like, oh, wait.
Can't wait to give.
No, that's what the book is. Like all those mantras and mean with the explanations or stories, so that this is like a resource. So what I'm hoping is that people get the book and keep it right on their desk or in their bathroom or on their car somewhere where they can leaf through and do reminding. So they can take one for the day. Like one for the day, like vibe up.
Vibe up.
Vibe up.
My 2022 word, vibe. Love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's all about the vibe instead of
there you go. And then so today I dedicate to practicing vibing up, elevating my state and bringing that. I'm going to make a game out of this. I'll walk into a sports bar later and meet some friends and watch a game. I'm walking into that and I'm going to bring I'm going to bring a high vibe. It's going to be legit. And I'm going to infect people with that. And that's going to be a present. I got to see how that works. And I get to do the practice. So thank you for bringing up the excited about it.
So good. I love your vibe. You are so authentic. I have two final questions. One's easy and one's a little bit longer. The second to last question is, where can people follow you, find you?
Oh, you're so gracious. Thank you for that. Yeah, my website is awesome. So everything's there. So ChristopherDorris.com, the place you can sign up for the Daily Dose right on the homepage. And the books are on Amazon. And the links to my social media. I love social media. I'm very active. I'm constantly pumping out content. That's my legacy. It really is my legacy. I don't have kids. I'm not going to have kids at this point. So my legacy is my content. So I take that real seriously. So the website, ChristopherDorris.com is the spot to go to connect. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm prolific there. And I'm on very active on Facebook and even Instagram.
I love it. I love it. And I'm so glad we got to connect. My last question is kind of an indulgent one. I'd love to, if you could share like your best. You've worked with professional athletes, golfers, football players, etc. What's the best story that you've got from being able to really kick them in the mind and turn things around?
You know, what a fascinatingly timed question you're asking me, Erin, because this past weekend I had a conversation with the person who I'm going to tell the story about. And I haven't talked to him in a couple of years. And I love him dearly. And there's a testimonial on my website from him. In fact, it's the first one. His name is Jason. And I was introduced to him by a guy I was coaching at the time who was a golfer. And the golfer knew Jason and knew that Jason was in a really dark place, suicidal. And he said, you got to do this work, this mental training. You got to help him get his head right. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't do that anymore. That was like the social work. And then I used to be a licensed therapist. And I don't have like malpractice insurance and any of that shit anymore. That ain't my jam. And he goes, you got to do it. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And he goes, you got to do it. I'm like, stop. And he goes, listen, I'll tell you what. If I bring him to every session, he was pretty far away. And I can come in the room or stay out and just be in the weight room. If I show that level of commitment, we work with him. I'm like, dude.
What a great friend.
No question about that. So I said, okay, let's do it. And I am not taking credit. I'm telling you this story because of the work he did, Jason. Okay. And it's the fundamentals. It's what we just talked about, you and me, Erin. The practice. He went down right away. It took some. Come on, bro. Just if you give me one example of you changing your thought when I see you next week or in 2 days, whatever. Just one. And that's a win, baby. And he got one, and then he got two, and then he got a bunch. And then he got rid of his depression. And he ended up, like, he was suicidal. And he changed his whole damn life. He ended up going, we were just having such a great, we had an hour-long call this Saturday. It's so beautiful. It's a little weepy. So what a great time. I just saw your timing. ridiculous here, my friend. So yeah, he went to Harvard, got his graduate degree there, ended up buying a huge plot of land, real estate, developed the shit out of it. And he found his husband. He was closet homosexual. Now he's perfectly comfortable and great and happy as hell. I'm just so damn proud because he did the work. The same work I do with anybody. It's not me. I'm just a delivery man. It's easy as hell. They got to do the damn work. He did the damn work. When I say work, what I mean is it's the same thing as Steve said. Hey, see, how are you able to get to enthusiasm instantly with a flat tire in 120 degree heat with no spare when you're 120 miles deep into the damn desert? What? Years and years of practice. So if we will do the practice of strengthening the way, upgrading the hell out of the way that we respond to, life is going to get so much easier and so much more beautiful, and so much more full of abundance and excellence than maybe we could have even imagined.
I love it. That's so beautiful. This has been absolute pleasure, Chris. Like I said, I heard you 2+ years ago. I don't even think we've been all that connected since. This was
Thanks so much.
Totally authentic, totally inspiring. Thank you for giving us your time, and congratulations on the latest book and all that you've done.
Thank you for that. You're so incredibly generous and gracious. You're an incredible host, and I love what you and Nicole are up to. So props to you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Erin with a teeny request. If you have ever gotten any value from this podcast and you'd like us to stick around, plus you want it to continue to grow so we can kind of swindle bigger and more knowledgeable guests to join us, and to keep providing you with tangible and inspiring actions you can take to achieve the career and life you deserve, could you please just take 1 minute to leave us a rating and a review? Those reviews go a long way in attracting guests to the show, and candidly, they really make Nicole and I's day. We see you. We really do. So when you have the time and inspiration, we'd love to see a rating and review from you. Thank you.